Welcome in to the Pipe Revival companion podcast series. I've been lacking a little bit here on getting these videos out, and it all boils down to I've just been busy, folks. I got a lot of stuff going on. It seems like every moment of every day is almost accounted for. That's just how it is when you got an operation going. You got family, you got kids, they're involved in stuff. You got a little piece of property. Always something needs to be done. Anyways, let's get our pipe out. And of course, we got the beautiful Dr. Graybo Royal Duke Prince. You guys have seen this pipe. I need to start bringing some other pipes out with me, but these pipes are just so good. I just love these pipes. Anyways, we're going back to the Prince Albert. I almost forgot the name. It's been so long. You can see how much of this I've smoked. This is this is a big old tub of Prince Albert, so takes a little bit to go through them. Woo! Man, that smells good. Man, when you come back to something after it's been a little while, man, it's like it's a whole new daggum blend. I get a lot more of the Fig Newton. Fig Newton smell. Man, it smells good. And it's just soft and supple. I've been smoking this, this manly tobacco. But man, this stuff is just so easy to pack, easy to load up. It smells like a Fig Newton. I'm getting excited about this. This is gonna be nice right here. This is gonna be one of them smokes. I can already tell. It's gonna be one of them smokes where I'm gonna be like, why do I smoke anything other than this? There's just no need to smoke anything else. Oh, she's loaded up beautifully. Beautifully. All right. Let's light her up, folks. Why spend your money on anything else? Oh my gosh. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Cornell Dude, I love you. I love what you got going on, but the Prince is hard to beat. Man, just look at all that smoke. It's smoky. It's so easy to light, so easy to pack. It just packs perfectly. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Anyways, I don't want to keep going on about this, but man, if you guys don't have this sitting around in the old cellar. I know a lot of you guys like to call it a cellar. You know, in the plastic tub stuff underneath the bed. If you don't got it sitting around in there, at least one tub will last a lot of y'all like years. There is a reason this has been around for so long. I don't know what they do to their tobacco in processing it. I have no idea. But and I guess the casing probably has a lot to do with it, but I don't know how much flavor is added to the casing. I did hear a story on another podcast about a guy that worked at the factory but when it was still in America back in the 80s, I think. And he said they used to freeze the leaf before they started casing it. So I guess it would come in bulk from the farms, and they would freeze it, and then they would thaw it out, and then they'd start processing it. And that's what set it apart from, you know, all your other over-the-counter burley blends that were out there in this, you know, the 70s, all through the 19th or the 20th century. So I don't know if they still do that down in the what is it, the Dominican Republic, where it's processed now. But man, it is it's so familiar, but it's unique enough to where you can tell that this is indeed Prince Albert. Just the right amount of sweetness. Anyways, what's going on with everybody? Oh, I just I heard about Ladyfire, and you know, though they were, when I first started my channel, they were some of the first people to like and follow my channel and comment on my stuff, and you know, that I can't even imagine, brother. I can't even imagine. So my heart goes out to you. My prayers, they're with you and your family. Because again, I can't even. What a tragic thing, and such a, you know, a big. I watched a lot of y'all's videos, and I think such a big player in the YouTube pipe smoking community, and my heart goes out to you, brother, and you know, just there's no words. That's all I can say. Anyways, there's no good way to segue from something like that, but you know, we never want to hear news like that. And you know, I've been thinking about that. She was only like 11 years older than me. And it just brings to the forefront something I've been going through. I'm 43, and the older I get, I can't believe I'm even saying those words, by the way. 43. I can't even believe that. But anyways, the older I get, the faster life kind of passes you by, and your mortality sets in to where you start having the thoughts like, I'm running out of time, you know. I need to do some of these things that I've always wanted to. I've been telling my wife, it's like, we need to do these things, these stuff that we've been dreaming about and we've been talking about and planning and all this stuff. It's like, we got to get it done. We're running out of time to do all this. The kids are, you know, I got 2 kids out of the house. One's married. One is fixing to graduate from college in less than a year. And then we got a 14-year-old. So it's like, you know, we're running out of time to, you know, enjoy some of these moments with our relatively young family here. So before our young family starts having young families of their own. We don't got any grandkids yet. They said they're going to wait a little while, but you know, we said that too when we got married. We were 19 when we got married, and we found out, I don't know, probably it had to have been just a couple, 2-3 weeks after we got married that she was pregnant. So yeah, 9 months after we got married, we basically had our first child. It can happen. So yeah, we started young, you know, which God bless it, my oldest two, you know, we didn't have any idea what we were doing with these, because we were just kids. We were just thrust into, out of our own, you know, doing, but just thrust into this adulthood. Man, you grow up quick. Even now, I still feel like sometimes I'm just hanging on by the seat of my pants. I don't know if any of you feel that way. But yeah, a lot of this, you know, life is fleeting, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I've been reading a lot of the book of Ecclesiastes. And, you know, I'm not like a religious guy. I love the Bible. I love going to church, but religion is kind of like, you know, it's I'm not going to get too far into it because I'm you know, probably not very qualified to talk about it. But I am a person. I am a people, and so I do have a brain, and I have an opinion on things, and I'm, you know, I think I'm pretty well educated on some things. You know, I do read books. I read books. They're probably not the same kind of books that y'all read. You know, I got some books. Got some books. I write stuff down. So, you know, as far as like intellectual, as what we consider intellectual stuff, I'm not really into any of that, because it's all just talk. You know, you can read books and sit and think upon it and read books and blah blah blah. There's no like action like attached to it. You know what I mean? But the stuff that I like to read about and learn about and inform us, it has action attached to it. Something you can go out and you can prove. And I'm not saying that it's intellectual stuff, because, you know, Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius, all this, there's stuff that you can apply to your life by reading it. But, you know, like in James, it says be a doer, not just a hearer only, but a doer. I am a big time proponent of being a doer. You can read, you can learn all this knowledge and all this stuff and have it all up there in your head so you can do whatever. But if you're not doing something with it, if you're just learning for learning's sake, you know, I'm not into that. If that's what you're into, if that's your fun thing to do, more power to you. But I want to be a doer, and I struggle, you know, every day. I've made a covenant with myself that, you know, if God, you know, and I use that term very respectfully and reverently, but if He will provide a way for me to come up with the funds to fund this operation, you know, that I am willing to do the work. I'm willing to put the work in to make all this stuff happen. And you know, it's a struggle to hold up my end of the bargain, you know, but he has provided for sure. And so, you know, I know my role, I guess. What is it? These are the uncanonized books of the Bible. I think it is the book of Thomas, the sayings of Jesus, and one of the in the first part of the book, it talks about, or it Jesus is saying to know thyself. It's like, you know, the beginning of everything is knowing thyself and being honest with yourself about who you are, about your limitations, what you're capable of. And that's one of the hardest things, I think, to do, is for us to be honest with ourselves, because we lie to ourselves more than we lie to anybody else. We lie to ourselves. You know, we're always telling ourselves, oh yeah, I'll just get up a little earlier tomorrow, and you know, I'll get up and I'll knock out that workout, or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. We lie to we tell ourselves all these little lies. Well, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to know who we are, and it keeps us in our lane if we are doing that. And my lane is, and I'm a worker. You know, all these fancy ideas of guys sitting around thinking about stuff, you know, they have to have people to implement those ideas. Well, you know, that's me. I'm a go-getter. I get it done, and I figure out how to get it done. It's not saying I don't have any ideas either, you know, but I'm just more inclined to the nuts and bolts type approach to everything in life. Just a very objective, speculative, 30,000 foot view of anything, and I approach everything with that in mind. And religion is no different to me. So I approach that very, very suspiciously, especially if you read the history of Christianity and all the Bible, the canonization, the Council of Nicaea, Constantine, all of that stuff. The Roman the Roman invasion of Israel. Occupation is the word I'm looking for. The Roman occupation of Israel, bringing, how Paul was a player in bringing the Jews and the Greeks together, or the Jews and the Romans, together, and all under Christianity. And so I'm very suspicious of a lot of stuff. Not to say that there isn't a ton of good things, if not all of it. There's some things in the Old Testament I do have a problem with. One of them is the genocide of a lot of people. Going through these towns and just taking out men, women, and children, leaving none alive, and then taking all their stuff. I kind of, if that was I always try to put things in the perspective that if it was happening right now, and if it, even better yet, if it was happening to me right now, what would I think about it? That's how I try to think about some of that stuff. But Book of Ecclesiastes, that is not a very it's not a popular book with preachers and the like, because it's kind of like one of the Song of Solomon. There's not a lot to preach on there, and some of it just goes against a lot of the narratives put out by organized religion. And again, we go to church. I love going to church. I love it if you find a good local church that is doing good things in the community and honestly trying to help the community, and not I have a problem with some of the modern churches where it's a huge production, and they got lights going, and smoke and whatever and all this. It's a huge production, and they have like 5 services in the morning. To me, that's, come on now, what are we doing here? That's obviously, they're, you know what I mean? That's the first thing my mind goes to. Now, if you enjoy that kind of thing, that's fine. It's not my cup of tea. I'm all about working for your money. For my money. I want to be working. I want to be doing physical work. That's what makes me feel good. That's how I can lay my head down on my pillow every night knowing that I put in a hard day of honest work to make honest money. But anyways, I don't even know how I got there to where I'm at now, but I think I started talking about the book of Ecclesiastes, and I was reading chapter 9. Chapter 9 has been really like, there's a few verses in there. It's talking about, eat the food, dress up nice, wear nice clothes, drink the wine, go hang out and have a good time with your wife. And life is vanity. That's what this life is. When it is all boiled down, it is vanity. This reality that we are living in is vanity. And but what the author is saying is to enjoy this stuff that God has given us on this earth. It's to be enjoyed. It's for us to enjoy it. And like tobacco and briar and all this stuff, to enjoy this beautiful, miraculous plant that grows out of the ground. Or to drink the wine that grows out of the ground. Everything, it comes out of the ground. And to enjoy and take your wife and enjoy this stuff. And quit taking everything so seriously. There's a lot of crazy stuff that we're going through right now. With that, matter what side of the aisle you're on in politics, for some of us out there, Trump getting in is the greatest thing in the world, and for some of us, it's the worst thing in the world. But just put all that aside, because what it really boils down to is, what are you doing? What are you doing right now on this earth to make your situation better, your family situation better, and those around you in your community, let's call it? What are you doing to make their situation better? To leave this earth better than it was before you got here. That's what it all boils to. The answers are not in DC. They're not. What's going on there is just a symptom. It really is. It's a symptom of the degradation of society. And when you boil all that down, it comes down to the family unit, the mother and the father raising good kids and instilling in those kids good, virtuous values and character that they're going to carry on, and they're going to raise their kids and pass that on. Things degrade over time, and it is no different in society. And if we don't have strong families, what's happening in Washington and all this corruption and all these crazy people up there, that is a symptom of what has been going on in our country and in our world for a long time. And so it all starts with you and me. What are we doing right now? Because that's what changes the future, is if we change what we're doing right now to make this a better place. And that's what it's all about. Some of us act like we're taking this stuff with us. We're not. We don't own anything, really. We are just ambassadors. We are stewards of what God has allowed us to be over. And some of us, he's given a lot. But that's not in Ecclesiastes. It's all chance. It doesn't mean you're better. You know, it's all chance. If you haven't read the book of Ecclesiastes, go read the book of Ecclesiastes. It's different. It's different. It reads a lot like Proverbs, but it's got some good stuff in there, and really provocative, compelling stuff in there. And so if you haven't read it in a while, go read it. And it's great pipe smoking material, let me tell you. Anyways, I appreciate y'all stopping by. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will try to hold up my end of the bargain here and be popping out one of these videos every week or so. You know, maybe a couple videos a week. And you know, we could sit down and have a bowl of fine tobacco together. So I appreciate you, every single one of you, stopping by. We'll see you on the next one.